This is a video update from the Small House Society 2011 Midwest Workshop in St. Louis, Missouri, taking place on the 26th and 27th of December 2011. And now here's a message from Greg Johnson, President of the Small House Society. This video looks at the growth indicators of the small house movement. Hi, I'm Greg Johnson with ResourcesForLife.com and also president of the Small House Society. And I'm down in St. Louis for our workshop from the 26th to the 27th of December 2011. This is the Midwest Small House Movement Workshop. And we're taking some requests in by email as well as phone and on Facebook and other sources, hoping to put some videos up to address common questions that people have about the movement. So for this first video, I just want to paint a picture of where the movement is now. It's been about 10 years since the Small House Society got started, which was really an observation that this was an organic movement already beginning, and the reason for our organization was really just folks getting together in an effort to help foster this movement that had already begun. So to talk a little bit about the growth that we've seen so far in the movement and what we see our purpose as being, I just want to offer this kind of State of the Union or State of the Movement address. So anyway, there are about 7 factors that we look at when considering how the movement has progressed, and I'll just read those off in no particular order, but the first item would be books that have been published. And this is significant because initially there were not really many books about small houses other than some that were just pictures of quaint cabins and that type of thing. But as the movement has grown over the last 10 years, we've seen a lot more books coming out. If you go to Amazon and just do a search for small house, you'll see a lot of results and a lot of good sources for books about building homes, designing homes, what it's like to live in a home, strategies for downsizing, so what have you, and I think that's significant that we've seen more books becoming available. Also, as far as website visitors, we continue to see traffic increase on our website as well as on our social network presence that we have in Yahoo groups and Facebook and others. So that's another indicator that we see that the movement is alive and well and growing. And we're also seeing additional websites coming up all the time. There's now, recently I saw, and I wish I could remember the domain name, but I'm sure you can find it. It's a site for tiny homes for sale, and it's people listing their small homes all over the country, and it's a great resource because up until now there really had not been kind of a real estate center for small homes, and that's what that site offers. But there are other homes as well. A lot of them are blogs created by people who are living in small homes that want to talk about their experience living small, downsizing. And some of those are without advertising. It's just somebody offering their story. Other websites are kind of advertising supported, and you'll see the difference between those if you're exploring them. So the first 3 items I've mentioned: books, our website traffic, and more websites emerging. Then the 4th item is media coverage. We continue to see media coverage from around the world and interest by major media as well as the independent sources that are out there. And so, because the movement is now 10 years along, we don't now get repeat visits or inquiries from the major networks. But what we are finding is stories that are looking at the more detailed aspects of this movement, which are quite interesting. So, looking at the cost of housing, the impact of the economy being in kind of a slump recently. So we are continuing to see media coverage about the movement. House sales, as I mentioned, are up now. You can look at the sales of small homes, new small homes that are being built. There are 2 categories of those. Some are being built by smaller startup companies that focus just on small homes that are in the, let's say, sub 400 square foot category. There are also some standard commercial home designers and builders that previously did not offer small homes, and now they are offering small homes. So that's a sign that the industry is now deferring to this movement and really providing some great offerings for those out there looking for a commercially sold home. If people are so inclined, they can buy kits, you can buy plans, you can request that a local contractor come and build a small home on site for you. And touching on that topic, a common question that we get is, what are the ordinances, what are the laws that impact small homes? And the quick answer is that if a home is on wheels, it is not governed by the traditional, typical local zoning kinds of laws, because it's considered to be kind of a camper or an RV, kind of an accessory dwelling. If the home is built on a foundation, then yes, there are some local laws that you need to abide by, and you do want to check with your local city or wherever you're planning on doing this before continuing with construction, just to make sure you're going to be within the local laws of what is allowable. But anyway, so house sales are on the rise, and certainly I think is sort of intuitively obvious that the real estate market that has been in a slump, anyone selling a home that's 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 square feet or more is going to have a difficult time doing that. People do not want to have that much of a risk in real estate, so they're looking for the minimum home they can get to become a home owner without putting a lot of risk out there. So that means a lot of the 1,200 square foot homes, 1,500 square foot, and certainly below 1,000 square foot homes for singles and couples are really becoming popular. People don't want to keep paying rent, they want to be a homeowner, but they don't want to sink a lot of money into it or be tied down with some huge home payments. So that's driving the movement as well. Designers and builders, as I alluded to earlier, there are the old construction and design companies that are now offering small homes, as well as the newer startups, people that have some construction skills that are saying, you know what, I can do this. I can build small homes and sell them and make a profit. So you're going to find a little of both, but definitely the list of designers and builders is growing. We have that listed on the Small House Society website. If you go to smallhousesociety.org or .com, either one will get you there, and you can look for designers and builders and see a lot to explore on our site. And then finally, Google search results are continuing to grow. So there are more and more, and this brings up everything: books, blogs, websites, news articles, everything within the domain of the small house movement will come up when you do a search on that. And we're thankful that our site is still in the #1 position. Occasionally Google hiccups and then it disappears, but in general we're up there at the top. So anyway, that's a quick rundown of the various factors that seem to be indicators of where the movement is at. And as I've stated in previous videos, for those of you who are new, I'll repeat this, but what's driving the movement primarily is the economy in general, the housing market being in a crunch, people being more aware of what we are doing to the environment, people being aware of what the environment's doing to us in terms of the massive, wide-scale destruction that is caused by natural disasters. People are not wanting to invest as much in housing and in real estate because of the, even if it's insured, you're going to incur a huge loss, right? So people are trying to minimize their exposure to loss, right? So that's a factor. And then I think just the general complexity and chaos of life these days is causing people to reflect and want to have a simpler, easier to manage, and more sustainable and maintainable day-to-day, week-to-week, year-to-year life, living well within your budget, not just your financial budget, but your 24-hour-a-day and 168-hour-a-week budget. And the more stuff you have, it seems like the less time there is to take care of all that. So anyway, getting back to this conference, what I want to do is go through some of the questions that are coming in, some of the common questions, get videos posted to answer those, and maybe if people are available, do some Skype interviews with builders or small home, what we call small housers, people that live in small homes. And something I wanted to point out is that the small house movement really brings together a lot of different people from different economic backgrounds. Some people are getting into a small, simple lifestyle because they can't afford anything else. Others have plenty of money, but they want to live simply and live more efficiently and economically with the money they have. And still others don't really care about the finances one way or the other, but they're pursuing a simple life because of wanting to have a smaller environmental footprint. So you have these, on one hand, environmentalists, wealthy people, poor people, people from different political viewpoints. Some left-leaning, others are right-leaning. So it's a movement that's caused people to come together for common goals and common solutions, to problems that we all face. And so in that sense, it's interesting to see people from these different backgrounds. And I guess that's it. I'll leave it at that. Since there is time yet, I'll just ask you to go to smallhousesociety.com for more info. Look forward to seeing you soon. This video was recorded, edited, and produced using iMovie on the iPhone 4S. Slides were created using Keynote on the iPhone. To find out more, visit apple.com/iPhone.